Whatever we get, we get.
Yeah.
We've already skipped so many funny jokes.
Yeah.
That could have been our cold open.
Like Walt Disney's
Are you
giant
like,
cock.
here we go.
Hello, guys.
Hey, DJs, it's time for Degen Alley.
I forgot that was the name.
What's the
honestly.
nastiest shit you've done this week?
Nastiest shit, close on, and then second, close off.
So I'm just gonna say it. Are we recording?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna come out and confess.
Go ahead.
This is my proof that I am an anime degen.
Okay.
I have ordered my first big booby anime girl figure.
Why? Why did you do that?
It's a set. It's a set. Okay? Look at him. Look at this beautiful boy.
Mm-hmm. Now, how does that relate to big boobs?
He needs a friend. And who do you think in your head who's Chopper's number one best buddy in the crew?
Usopp.
Nico Robin.
It's definitely Usopp.
Anyway, Nico Robin.
She is a homie to him though. She does hang out with him.
She's like his mom. It's like the cutest relationship in the whole show.
Which hurt me that much more during her whole thing where she like was gonna leave the crew. And
that's what fucking did it, because she was like, "Fuck you, Chopper."
Yeah, and he was so sad. Oh my god.
And then it stuck with him. He was like, "Oh, Robin, oh." That was such. Oh my god, that like put me in that show hardcore. That whole Water 7.
Dude, that was so dope. And like
it was like such a concentrated amount of coolness, because like the introduction of Frankie, his whole thing was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just seeing like all the characters have interactions with each other that you wouldn't expect.
I think it was actually crazy how like they just kind of threw in Usopp's thing, which I'm not saying throw in as in like it was like a bad thing to do. It was like that was such a pivotal friendship moment for the whole like Usopp and all of his like kind of leaving the crew and everything like that. But they threw it in the midst of everything, and it was done so well, and it was like a whole different plot line.
It was a jaw dropper, because like you're trying to focus on where the fuck is Robin, what is happening, and then just boom, Usopp's got his own problems.
Dude, I think the part that killed me was when like Luffy was like, I don't know if he was like walking away or something like that, or he was standing over him, but it was towards the end of the fight, and he was like, you knew this was how this was gonna end. You knew this was gonna happen. Why would you do that? And everything. And he's just standing. Oh my god. And then the end,
he had to as a man.
Yeah. And then at the end, when like, dude, I love Zoro. Like, I know everybody loves Zoro. Yeah, sure. But I love him because of his racism.
Principles?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
We can't.
I love
start
him.
off with the Zoro racist memes. Okay, we can't.
We can't.
That sets the bar too high.
No, but I love him because he kind of like keeps everybody to a standard, and he's kind of like one of the more people that says, "Hey, we are a pirate crew." Like, I know that we're a bunch of friends and we want to go and do this stuff, but like first and foremost, we are a crew that needs to like have each other's back, and we kind of have to have like standards for each other. Like he's the one that keeps everybody accountable. Like, hey, you need to do
right, and it's like if he didn't do that, they would not have made it this far. He's like making sure. He's like it's not like, hey, I'm a stickler for the rules and you're not doing this right, so fuck you. It's like, if you don't hold yourself up to this standard, we will not survive.
Yeah. Like when for example, what I was thinking when Chopper was a prize for that game, it was a filler arc.
Oh man.
I didn't know was a filler arc for like halfway through it.
It's cuz it's so good. It's so good.
And then he kind of just says like, he's like, hey, like, Chopper, be a man. You got this. We're a pirate crew.
God.
Stand up there. And he goes like, yes, sir.
So cute.
No. He's like, you guys will get me back. He like crosses his little arms, his little hooves, and he's like, oh wait,
like
right
holding
here.
Back tears.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love when Chopper acts macho.
God, it's the so cutest thing.
Chopper is like, this should just be a Chopper love podcast. Like, I could talk about Chopper.
I have never had a character more than him just admit how cute he is. Like
now,
what?
We have beef. We have beef about Chopper.
Oh no.
Because me, rain or shine, sub or dub, I'm a fan. But you, I can't believe you said that you don't like the sub Chopper voice. It is
No.
the voice of Pikachu. It is the most
Yeah, I don't
iconic
want Pikachu
anime
as
voice.
Chopper. That's the problem. I
It's
don't.
so it's
Maybe
so
maybe
cute.
that's why. It's because when you see like when you have like a Pikachu sounding person, it sounds like a rodent. It sounds like a little like but then
It almost
like
sounds like a small cute animal. Wait,
no, it
what is
doesn't.
Chopper?
I don't know.
What is Chopper?
Maybe his voice sounds better when he's trying to be cute. But the clip that you sent me was when he was using an ability or whatever, and he like changed his form, and he said it, and he was like powering up, and he was like, I don't remember like two-hoo formation, but like he did it like he just sounded like I don't know how to explain it. He just sounded like too much, and I was like, that's not Chopper.
I like nah, you're wrong because that's the original. First of all,
sure, whatever.
and this is from somebody I love them both. And honestly, the Japanese like call out powers. That's like that's like
Yeah,
anime
small.
101, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just
Well,
like
it's not that he calls him out.
such a good
they call
feeling.
him out. They call him out in like in dubbed as well. It's not that he calls him out. It's just the way that he sounded when he called him out. I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
I don't know. I prefer that. I prefer the voice. And the thing is, I don't know in the dub how Chopper's tough voice sounds, but in sub it's so good because she has this like scratchy, growly voice that's like really like
When he goes into like the big form.
yeah, and it's like her trying to be buff. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
That one they might win because I don't think his is any like particularly.
They don't change it in the dub. I didn't think so, but she has like she does like a certain thing to give this air of like puffing your chest up type deal. You know?
I mean, honestly, I think if anything, dub. I think this actually falls aligned with a lot of anime. The subbed does like the best job at making scenes sound intense or like like the heavy action moments where you're trying to sound like menacing or like mean or whatever. But then the dub usually tends to be like the funnier, like more like the more wholesome like interactions when they're talking to each other.
And that I think is because it's if they have the freedom to localize how they want, they can fine tune it into something that would work better with the audience. I think One Piece gets that a little bit more, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever be able to switch to sub for One Piece. I don't know what it is. Like I've had this conversation with you before. There's been so many different animes where I just flip flop like My Hero and I don't know. But there's a bunch of them that I switch back and Black Clover I think was one of them.
I was about to say Black Clover. Am I psychic and just no confidence?
Yeah, bro. I think you just know my anime list.
I think we've just talked about this enough.
Yeah,
you know,
I like One Piece. I can't do it. The dubbed is so good. The dubbed is like one of the most like goated dubs out there. Oh, it's so fucking good. And like I sent you that clip where it was like the sub versus the dubbed. It's like Zoro gets squashed by Luffy, and you just hear Luffy, and he just like squishes him with the giant balloon body. Oh wait, I actually have a TikTok idea that I want to run by you. I don't care if this is the podcast or not, but there's the part where I'm not even joking. Luffy looks like he is he looks like he's running, like he's turning into a Titan from Attack on Titan, and it's when it's one of the I think filler couple episodes where the giant that can turn small.
Oh yeah,
and she jumps into him, and like there's a part where he literally gets big and he's steaming because he's going into the second gear, and I'm like, that's a fucking Titan right there. I was like, that's a fucking Titan, bro.
We should check when that came out, and you know, like maybe Attack on Titan copied One Piece. You know, maybe that's how it all started.
Possibly, maybe he was creating, maybe he was like on the verge of creating the story, and he was like, that would be cool if they like steamed when he came out, and he just sees Luffy's second gear all goofy and shit.
What was that the thing where they were at a water park or something?
No, it's they literally just got to the New World, and the girl snuck onto the boat. I'm just starting the next from what I can tell, the next big arc of
Punk Hazard.
I think so, yeah, where they're like they found the dragon, and then like They found the
Yep.
people like capturing a bunch of people.
I just finished that.
Dude, I hate that. That's one thing that like bothers me about One Piece, but like not actually bothers me. I'm always just like I always just think about it. It's like some animals they treat like they're homies. They're like, I want that as a pet. Let's get him. And in other animals, I'm like, oh, that one's cute. And it's like Luffy's like, let's fucking eat him. And I'm like, bro, it's like stop. Like that's like for example, like they fucking ran into that dragon. And I was like, that's a cool ass dragon. What's gonna go on with that? And he was like, we thought this was a myth. Oh my god, they actually exist. I was like, that's so fucking cool. And he's like, yeah, let's fucking eat it. And I'm like, were we not just talking about how rare that is? Like, were we just talking about how cool that like, is a dragon? And then Luffy's like, yeah, I'm hungry though. Like, let's fucking devour him.
I mean, if you had the chance to eat rhino meat, would you?
No.
Yeah, me neither. We're not Luffy though.
That's true. Luffy's a menace. Honestly, I think that's another reason why I like their crew so much. Is that they're okay, this is just gonna be a fucking One Piece dick sucking podcast for the entire time. I
mean,
I think we just need to get that out of our system because we
get it out now.
I just like watched One Piece for the past like 5 months. You have been watching it for you started kind of recently, right? Like 2 years or something like that. Recent for One Piece terms.
I mean, I started when I was like 13.
But
really? No, I don't. It's before the well, like a year ago, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was after the pandemic because we had the podcast going until the pandemic, and you never.
No, here's what happened. I quit my job, and then my next job was like, "Oh, we're not starting you yet." So I had a few months to myself. So it was always like, "Oh, I don't have time for One Piece," and I sat here. I'm like, "I'm not gonna work, and I don't have to pay bills. Let's turn on fucking One Piece and get this shit started."
Bro, and then
so it was definitely like last March. So it has almost been a year.
Yeah, but it's just still like the pandemic's been going on for like 2 years now.
Right. That's you can't gauge anything by when it's been. It's like which phase, the bread making phase or the riot phase, or now we've got the World War III phase.
Let's go back to One Piece. Let's circle it back around. One Piece.
I gotta get back in my happy place.
One Piece, fucking phenomenal. One thing
literally, that I don't know. You love the adventure and the camaraderie of like fighting together. I love the downtime where I just see them living. I
love that too. I love that too so much.
But in my head, it's almost like a slice of life. Like I love to watch everybody just hanging out on the ship, and then I'm pissed off when the action starts because I'm like, hold on a minute, I want to see these people interact with each other. What's this pirate asshole? Like they know they can't win. Why are they bothering me right now? I'm trying to watch a fucking comedy romance with all these characters.
I think
like what is this fighting bullshit?
No, I get that. That is probably where we differ because I want them to go into fighting. But if anything, I want more like a few episodes where they're like they do have these occasionally, but I want more episodes where they kind of run into somebody and they go like, hey, we can kick their ass. Let's go kick their ass and do it fast. I don't want because I feel like a lot of times One Piece jumps into these giant arcs where it's like, oh, Luffy has to fight this person. Oh, but we got stopped by this. And then this thing happened that separated the whole crew. And then now this person has to fight this person, and this person has to this person. Luffy's stuck in a fucking well over there, so he can't fight the person for another 20 episodes. And then this person, like, they always find ways to, like, make it longer,
right?
Which is not a burn on the show. I just want...
Well, I just want them to have... structured so that you can have multiple stories going at once so that one story doesn't get tired too quickly. That's just how storytelling goes now, because people get bored of one thing in, like, 10, 20 minutes. So they give you...
But I mean, this is still
to
old,
put together.
This is still like old One Piece. It's not like recent.
No, it's well, we both don't know what modern One Piece is. We're still like, I can't believe we're here acting like authorities on One Piece when we both still have 500 episodes to go.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
If you're a fan, you're a fan. That's how I feel. If you've watched one episode of One Piece and like it, or all of them, it's the same. Don't let anybody say it's not.
Damn, bro. I'm still at a point of the show when this was before I graduated high school, which honestly is still later. So I
What,
kind
like
of wish
2009?
no, 2013.
Oh, I forgot. I'm older than you.
Uh no, I would have assumed that we were still like in the 2009-ish era, but
So I
do
would
you
have
know
I
how
would have graduated high school where I'm at.
do you know how long do you know how long the break was in real life? Was it an actual 2-year break from the gap?
Uh, that sounds right in my brain because even though I've always had One Piece on my radar, even though I didn't watch it,
Yeah.
because I'm just, finger on the pulse with anime right here, I know
Yeah.
everything. Now being able to tell people what I know, completely different story. It's like walking through a maze where it's nothing. It's
Oh,
it's not even a maze. I'm just walking through a fucking forest, and like if I can pick this information out, that's great. But it could be another hour in just meandering on till I find something relevant.
that's kind of a bummer. I found out that the time skip was only like uh, a month.
They were bitching about a month.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
it was like four
There
weeks.
there are anime out there that are like have been like, hey, we're gonna have a season two, and then it's been like 5 years.
Yeah, I think Black Clover's about to go into a break right now. I don't know how long though, but apparently, right as of right now, this was in 2021. I don't know how accurate this is, but apparently, all of One Piece has only been like 3 years. Like in canon, all of it has been like around 3-ish years and 2 years of the time skip. Like that's included in that.
Only about a year of action. That's crazy.
Yeah. Uh, and then
That
like
makes sense because
what?
if the Grand Line, like you'd think it's like bigger than our whole world. You know how like they're in a world, but like it's so vast that it'd have to be bigger.
Yeah, but they're
Like
just on
how
a
could they
ship.
travel that fast?
Yeah. It's funny. I have this. So like, obviously, I haven't done a podcast in a while. Um, and I've been so used to streaming
Me neither,
recently.
buddy.
I've been used to
Huh?
streaming so like recently that I keep feeling like I need to check if somebody's talking in chat. Like I keep like looking over here because like right now I'm like looking at stuff as we're looking it up. Like I'm looking up stuff for like for us to know, and then
Hmm.
I'll click on another tab to see if my if anything's like somebody said something in my chat recently. I'm like there's no chat right now, bro. Chill out. Um, but yeah. Anyway, what were you saying before that? Because I was looking up how long One Piece was.
You know, out of my head, gone.
Maybe we should transition into like our intros to anime because we did want to talk about that. So
Yes,
like
I
you
think
said
I
you've been
think
interested in
I'm
One Piece for a while, like since you were a kid. But like what happened? Like when you were young, like what was your upbringing with DJ and
I
stuff?
mean, One Piece was my first manga ever.
Really?
Yes. That's so we can tie it into that. And that's where I started was Saturday morning. I didn't have cable, so I had to watch 4 Kids TV, and it was like, Digimon, Pokemon. Well, no, not Pokemon. Digimon.
Well, you didn't watch Pokemon?
I didn't have cable. It wasn't on.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was like it was like a treat to watch Pokemon. Like I had to be like over at my grandma's house or something at the right time.
Man, was I privileged to have Pokemon?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I think that's why I still like it so much, is because I put so much value in it as a kid, you know?
Well, I loved the show way more than a game, but that was just me. I never really cared for the game. All right, go ahead. My bad.
The show, as a fully developed adult, the show sucks ass.
Yeah,
But as a kid, man, all those colors, all these
yeah.
cute little animals that I can pretend in my head are
Well,
friends with me.
yeah. I think the show was like a budget One Piece for me at the time, where the things I like about One Piece now is kind of what I liked about Pokemon before, where it was just him finding his crew, his friends, and he's like, now we're gonna fight all these people together as a family, and I'm your ride or die, homie. We're gonna get in this and blah blah blah, and like that's basically what I thought of. But obviously, I put more depth into it as a person, and not like him training animals to fight each other.
Yeah, and it's just fighting the same people the same way at the same time every time.
You know what's funny? I used to when I was a kid, I used to always say when I played pretend with my friends, what would be like my superpower, and I always said I wanted to control animals and like be able to like kind of like Aquaman, but like for like all animals and like have them help me out. And I said, and then like as I've grown older and I've like thought about ethics more and more, I was like either one, I am mind controlling them and making them slaves. And let's say if this is a world where I have to use my powers to fight some baddies, let's say a guy with laser comes out and I'm throwing fucking tigers at him and he's just slicing laser like tigers left and right or whatever. Or I'm using a bird to get away and they're just shooting shut at birds. Or the second option is that for some whatever reason they feel indebted to me, that they're throwing their lives away to help me out. Like, because I think Aquaman's thing is usually he doesn't mind control. Maybe he does. I think in some iterations he did, but in some iterations he would say like,
gonna say this.
He would say like, help me out.
You are legitimately a One Piece villain.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, because I would say that? Like, if that's what I would have done.
You would control animals. That is a One Piece villain.
Really,
you are a One Piece villain.
Well, like that's what I wanted as a kid. But
right.
But when I got
just
older,
naively you'd be like, they're my friends, not my slaves.
Yeah, and then when I got older, I was kind of like, man, like right now, if I still had to choose a superpower to have, it would be more of like a Beast Boy thing. I would love to like turn into animals and like use it, like turn into a different thing whenever I would need it.
Okay, so you're a fucking furry. God, we really nailed the name. We just nailed it on.
I don't know if I want to fuck them. I don't know if that's.
But I mean, like, furries aren't necessarily sexual.
What is
it's
okay?
Wanting
what is
to be an
furry?
animal. It's just wanting to be furry. Wanting to be an animal. It doesn't have. There's a lot of. I don't need to know. I don't need to.
I feel like
expose
you do know
myself.
a lot. Actually.
I don't need to expose myself on how much I know.
Okay.
From
yeah, sure.
past
But
experiences with certain people. But it's not always sexual. It's just that is the loud majority.
Oh.
And it always looks cringy as fuck. That's just but like I said, they are I don't know if would it be awful to say that all furries are degenerates? Some of them are. We've got quite a few. Maybe not all of them. We've got quite a
majority. I think the people who
I don't even want to say majority. We don't know,
I think the people who don't realize that they're furries because it's not a sexual thing aren't the degens. I think like for example, if like my whole life I've always been like thinking that werewolves are cool or whatever, and like to be that kind of character, like like to turn into a werewolf, that'd be always sick. As a kid, I would have never been like that's a furry move. I would have just been like, I don't know, werewolves are fucking dope. I'll turn into a wolf right now and just run around as a wolf. That would have been would have been my thing. Those people I think are not the degens. The people who know that they're furries and say that they're furries, or in their mind and go like, I'm a furry. That is the degens. They belong here with us.
I don't know. I don't want to be too mean to any group. I don't want to start beef with anybody.
I'll start beef with anybody I want. It's fucking. Your Patrick's over there like, dude, we're on the same podcast. You're dragging me down right now.
I did not have sexual relations with that animal. All I did was watch Beast Wars. That's all I did. I'm not a furry. God.
You know what?
Calm down,
I do think that puts you more into the stage than I am. You watched Beast Wars. I watched a little bit into it and I was like, I can't do this. That's not me.
There's that Red Skull quote. I can't think of it. It's like I go to where. God, no, this is a flop. I can't think of it. God, stupid. But I do what I go there so that you don't have to. I go into the depths of this stuff and come back and I'm like a scout,
Yeah.
Because I know their ways. I can tell you what's furry and what's not. And Beast Wars, Yeah, it's furry shit.
I think
But
it is. There's no way to get
but
around that.
it's all about how you take the sexuality in the show. So like if you just see it and you're like, okay, animals having sex, whatever, you're not a furry. But if you're like, damn, that's kind of hot, I think, you're right there at the beginning, the first step.
Did you think it was kind of hot?
No, I thought it was weird.
Did you finish the show?
Yes, because the story was good.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, honestly, no. I just, we got to see it through. It wasn't like mind blowing, but it was like entertaining enough. It had like some serious drama, some serious like detective type stuff, and some cute interactions, like slice of life stuff.
Yeah.
So it ticked a couple boxes for me, but it wasn't like outstanding.
All right. So, sorry, I think I kind of pulled us away from we were talking about you watching Digimon and Pokemon.
We're gonna listen. This show is just gonna be a million tangents.
Yeah, but maybe if we could go back to it, then what was? So you started.
Right, it's
Where
okay.
did you start? Where did you start? Like actually watching. I don't want to say Degen because a lot of them are like still mainstream like things, but I feel like
Right.
everybody knows the difference between a Pokemon Digimon anime and like a Naruto One Piece
High
kind of
School
anime.
of the Dead. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, yeah.
That
That was
oh
in my
God.
first. That was like in my first 5 animes, I think.
It was, and it's because of Netflix. Netflix poisoned us.
Yeah.
Because it was like Sword Art Online, High School of the Dead, and Noah Zero, or like 3 that like at the very beginning of like Netflix's popularity of streaming, that was the anime they had.
Yeah, for some reason they started off with that anime. They started off with you know what they gave us? They gave us boobs and tears cuz they gave us fucking High School of the Dead and Angel Beats. Was like the first 2 animes that they put on Netflix.
Angel Beats 2.
What the fuck was that? Like why are they giving us that shit?
Cuz it's cheap. They probably bought it really cheap.
Which they've probably made so much money off of those. Those 2 were good. Like High School of the Dead was legitimately good. Like I think everybody has said this at this point now, but like High School of the Dead was actually like really good.
Right, that's
they just focused on boobs.
Just because an anime is horny doesn't mean it's bad.
Which I've also heard about High School DxD.
Oh, you've heard it, have you?
I know I watched the first 5 episodes. I couldn't get past the boobs. But the
I mean, they're so big, how do you get past them?
He's like, excuse me, miss. Excuse me. Just fucking dodging and weaving.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm trying to have character development over here.
You pick her up by it, you go like this.
Just like...
Anyway, yeah, I couldn't get past all the like fan service type stuff. But yeah, I heard that it's really good and the action goes like sicko mode, as the kids say.
And they have to like sleep together to get more powers?
No, they have to sleep in the same bed so she can heal them after a long fight.
Okay, now it's your turn. You got me with this furry shit, but now it's your turn, you nasty little fucker.
I don't think we ever said anything bad about hentai. Wait, what? Wait, what? Who? What?
You can't just like say the H word.
Oh yeah, sorry. Heck.
We gotta. That's like episode 3 or 4 once they're in.
But yeah, so you started with that. So did you read manga before you before you watched that much like shows? Like were they kind of like around the same time that you like you picked up a manga at the same time as you started?
It was like manga? So pretty much my whole family, all of my older cousins are all huge fucking nerds, huge fucking weebs. So I was just like, I was surrounded by it. Like I couldn't get away from any of it.
Yeah.
Which is like I wasn't trying to. I was like fully enveloped in this shit. So like, as a family, as like multiple families coming together, we would like go to Borders and buy manga, and we'd all like get together and like read them.
That's sick.
It didn't happen very often, cause like I don't know, we weren't like rich or anything, but like
times.
I would just save up enough money to go buy. I got like 8 volumes of One Piece, 4 of Shaman King. It's literally just like anything that I watched as a kid, I would like go find the manga and just read what I've already watched.
Did you So like being raised in that like area, did it feel like a little weird? Did it still feel weird to you that other people weren't used to anime? Like, did it still feel like nerd culture at that time, or did you think it was just normal growing up? Like, where you're just
I
like
mean,
everybody
everything
does this.
everything about me, everything about me is like nerd culture. That's I don't worry about what other people even think, but
Okay.
it just for me it was like it's just like okay, I don't have anybody to talk to about this. It's cool. I'll just read it on my own and then
See,
talk to it with my cousins when I see them, pretty much.
gotcha. See, for me, I guess I'll go into a little bit about my upbringing. I started, yeah, I definitely watched Naruto like as like one of the first cartoons. Like Naruto just kind of fell in with all the other cartoons as a kid for me. Like there, it was on
Mhm.
Cartoon Network as well, so I just watched it with like
Right.
Pokemon, Power
You didn't
Rangers, all
seek
that
it out.
shit.
It was there and it was cool as fuck.
Yeah, I loved every bit of it. And my cousins were the ones who kept like pushing me to it because I also had cousins that were into it. But for me, it was only like two cousins that watched anime, and they were the ones who were like into it. They were like involved. And they were the ones who were like, "Yeah, this shit's dope. We should keep watching." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm watching it. Let's go." And it was, but like, I even at that point, at that age, I mean, like all throughout my childhood, I was always concerned about like what was cool, what was not. I think it helped.
Oh, you were a poser, huh?
No,
Didn't live
no,
the full life
I
of a
did,
nerd.
I did actually live the full life. I was just not admitting it to people.
Okay.
I think it had a
That sounds
lot to
about
do.
right.
I think it had a lot to do with being in New York as well. Like New York, it was a lot of like people being
It's a
like,
fucking melting pot though. Here it's like where I'm from, it's like
well,
you got two types of people and
it's
then the
different.
freaks that nobody talks about.
It's different like vibes where like I feel like over there it was more of like in New York it was more of like, hey, you're gonna be like cool, hood, you know, kind of grow up in that lifestyle. You can't be like a nerd. You're gonna get like the shit beat out of you and all that stuff. Like you're gonna get made fun of. Like they hold no remorse. They're gonna be
Okay.
like they're gonna cast you off and probably like physically bully you. Like you know what I mean? They're gonna
Okay,
physically
so
like
you were worried for your safety, but here's the thing. I think that's where the difference lies. I was gigantic as a kid. I towered over everybody. Nobody came at me for anything. I could be the dumbest, weirdest, most awkward kid and people would not be like, "You're a fucking nerd," and bully me because I was twice their size.
I see.
Throughout all the way to high school, I was bigger than everybody.
I never got bullied, but that was always because I always did like the chameleon type strat where I'd be like,
Right,
I'd go
right.
into a room and I'd be like, I know, and I think those skills actually still help me out to this day, where like I know how to like find people and find
Mhm.
a talking point with anybody. Like I can find common ground with anybody and be like, oh, I like that too. Whatever, let's talk about that. And so they just see me as cool because we have that connection. And I'll be like, I'll see what people like, and I'll be like, oh yeah, let's talk about that. I got you, I got you. Let's do that kind of thing. But yeah, so I always used to just think that it was just me and my cousins who liked it, and that was just some weird like underground shit. Like we would have to watch it like on a laptop. Like other than the Cartoon Network stuff, if we ever
Right.
wanted
You
to
had to
dive more
torrent it.
deep, yeah, we had to go like
You had to find the
that was
nastiest website.
I was like this is almost just like associated with like not associated, but it was like the same thing as like porn. For me, it was like, oh yeah, we had to go in the back room and look at the laptop and like, don't tell anybody what you're doing on that laptop. This is just a anime thing only. They're not gonna understand.
This is our secret time together that you don't tell anybody about.
Dude,
Don't tell your mom what we're doing.
speaking of trying to be too cool when I was a young kid, so
Hmm.
you probably see this if you're on the talks or the ticks.
The Tiki Talks.
There's like this trend where people go up to people and say, "Hey, what are you listening to right now?"
Hmm.
And they'll say, "I'm listening to WAP by Cardi B," and then they'll just start playing it, and they're
See,
like, good shit," and they'll keep walking. When I was a kid, I had this irrational fear, and I would honestly probably say maybe even like halfway through or all of high school, I still had that fear that I'm gonna be listening to something on my headphones and somebody for some fucking whatever reason. I think the fear started when I was a kid and I'd be walking through the streets of New York and I was always afraid that there was going to be some random muggler that came up to me and go like,
Muggler.
I don't know, mugger.
I mean,
Anyway, they'll come up to
fucking
me.
Muggle, Mudblood.
fucking shit. They'll come up to me with a gun. They'll be like, "Hey kid, what are you listening to right now?" And I'll be like,
with the gun.
And I'll be like, Ariana Grande.
Like, it all depends on what you're listening to. If I shoot you or not.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not cool, you're dead, bitch.
Yeah, I'd be like, Ariana Grande featuring, I don't know, featuring fucking Nicki Minaj, and you'd be like, that's some girly shit. Pow! And I'd be like, no. If only I was listening to like Lil Wayne. No, I'm just dying. It was like I should have been listening to 6 foot, 7 foot.
Dude, you were just ahead of the trends. You should have capitalized on that.
Dude, I know that
and
now.
Here we are talking about 5-year-old anime, and you're hot on the fucking trends, dude.
There's this other guy who on TikTok that would say like he kind of blew up because he would like he looks like a guy who just wouldn't listen to he looks like a manly dude that wouldn't listen to that kind of music, but then he's like saying, "Oh, Big Time Rush fucking bops," or like Justin, like old Justin Bieber Baby, that shit was a bop, and like he's like dancing to that stuff, and I'm like, it was like I thought that too growing up, but I was so afraid to tell anybody. I mean, like I would just be listening. That's just
part of growing up.
I know, and that's just nuts. I was always like so terrified. I would be listening. I think that's the craziest part about that fear, that rational fear, is that I would have headphones in, and I would be like walking, and I would see like a group of people, and I'd be like, gotta put Drake on, gotta put Jay-Z on. I can't, I can't do this.
You just unlocked something in my head, because I remember back, it was like an iPod Shuffle in like middle school.
Is that the one with no screen or the tiny screen?
No screen, but it was before screens, before anything. It was a little tiny thing. It could hold like 30 songs.
Yeah,
and it was a hand-me-down from my sister. And I remember I was listening to something, and your fear legitimately happened. I was too loud. It was too. I would listen to like all the way fucking up, and a girl was like, "What are you listening to?" And I remember I just immediately went so fucking. So hot. I was like burning, because this was like peak lack of confidence. Like exact. Like I just shot up. I was like 6 foot tall.
You just shot up heroin? What?
Yes, 6 feet of heroin.
No, you just said you did a long pause when you said I just shot up, and it's like, shut up what?
Shot up in my height. I was a growing, stumbling little chicken man.
Okay, I like chickens. Go ahead.
And it was like some like dad rock bullshit that like I downloaded off of fucking. It was called MP3 Rocket, and it was just like recordings of people on the radio. Like people would record off the radio, put it online, and then I could get it for free.
Yeah.
And fucking, that was like the start of me like having all these anxious issues, because someone legitimately went, "What are you listening to?"
The closest
like your fear was my life, dude. I lived through your worst fear as a kid. So
the closest thing that I had to that actually did happen. I think this might have brought back the fear in high school. I think might have what happened. Actually, no, two different things. One time in middle school, that actually same thing happened to me, where somebody pulled my headphones. Like I was swinging one headphone, because I was just swinging like a fucking rope, because I don't know, I was bored.
And they picked it up and listened?
They picked it up and listened. And they were like, "What the fuck are you listening to?" What a breach
of trust.
They're like, what the fuck are you listening to? And I said, Linkin Park. And then he was like,
"Oh, no."
He was like, "Oh, okay, never mind. That sounded weird for a second." And I was like, and in my head at that moment, it was like, it finally happened and I passed the test. I was listening to fucking Linkin Park, you motherfucker.
Oh my
Get out of here.
God.
And then, but then another time in high school, this was freshman year of high school, and the teacher was cool, and she was like, "Yeah, it was a math class." She was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna do a bunch of math problems. You guys can listen to music. I don't care." And so we just put on music. Mine was too loud. I didn't notice it. I was just playing music, and then like I kind of like was just doing the math problems, and I looked up, and the teacher was like giving me hand signals. I was like, she's like, and I pulled it out, and she was like, "Turn it down." And then like one of the more popular girls was like, "Dude, he was jamming over there," and everybody started laughing, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh.
And I was like, "Fuck me."
There is nothing worse than attention.
Dude, it's the
like
worst.
Right now in my life, I'd probably like stick a knife straight into somebody's skull for attention. But when you're 14, that's like the worst thing you could ever fucking
Yeah, dude,
imagine.
that's like you have too much attention. You want all of it gone.
It's like
But
I want to like I got too good at disappearing into the background. Now people don't even, it's probably like a blank screen on your end.
yeah, it's actually just a green screen. I'm just gonna put in like,
You're really just talking to yourself.
yeah,
Like
dude.
that's all this
It's
podcast
normal.
is the Danny show.
Oh, but anyway, going back to anime, going
Right.
back
Well,
to me
see, we're talking
growing
about
up.
early. This is all part of it,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
development.
I know. I was just saying going
We developed watching anime, which is what made us so fucking weird.
and
You
cool
know,
and funny.
our expectations for boob physics were completely off.
Dude,
It
speaking
it
of
set me
that,
back. It set me back a couple years on how to handle them. Because I'm like,
speaking of
it
that,
doesn't.
One Piece fucking they have I promise you they have made them bigger. As a person who is binging the entire show in like 3 months or so, they literally making it bigger as the show goes on. Like we come back from the time skip and she apparently
Yeah.
they got bigger and they're more exposed and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like why do we need this?
I, dude, listen. I don't even. There's all this talk about like their figures, and they are completely unrealistic. It's a
Yeah.
style choice that is questionable. I don't even I don't even look. I don't even care anymore. I'm so desensitized to the One Piece. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're so hot. They're so amazing." It's a character. It's
Well,
not something.
that actually kind of brings up another thing where I saw somebody, I don't remember, I think it was a TikTok or maybe a YouTuber, but somebody was talking about how they're, they're possibly going to do they're possibly going to do a One Piece live action thing, whether it's a movie or show. And somebody said, like, it's honestly probably not a good idea because most of the characters in the show are just like caricatures of people. Like, they're not supposed to be realistic. They're not supposed to be like goofy. Like, you don't like nobody has a giant ass fucking nose like Usopp, and like, and you're not gonna go up to people and like, you're not gonna have somebody like Whitebeard that's like 3 times the size of Luffy. Like you're not gonna have like giant ass people like that.
It's gonna be disappointing compared to the anime.
Yeah, like it's you're not supposed to. They're not
I think
supposed to see those in real life.
there are like Japanese like plays and like cafes where the characters are around, and they make them all look amazing. But I
Yeah,
don't think it would work
with like an
in
anime where they're
in
supposed to be
in an
stretchy.
action in an action setting.
Yeah, I say anime. Yeah, like in live action where like they're supposed to be like stretchy and they're supposed to use abilities. Like that's gonna
Right.
look awful. Also, one person,
Is
some people.
this
What?
So I have a question. Is this a one? Are we doing a One Piece podcast?
I guess. I guess for now,
I
yeah.
think this has turned into. How can I turn Degen into One Piece?
One person, one person also was talking about like apparently he brought up the fact that people are getting mad that Usopp was like casted as like either a black or mixed person, and it was like that's what he is. Like that's
Literally in the Oda talks, which sometimes he talks shit, sometimes it's like makes sense. He said Usopp is African or African American. I can't remember which.
yeah. And they're like, "What do you?"
Usopp is black.
Yeah, he was like, "What are you?"
They're all different ethnicities.
He's like, "What are you trying to say, bro? Like, what?" Oh, that's another reason why I think for some reason, and this is like complete bias. I think that's another reason why, for some reason, I think I like the dub more than the sub is because I, for some reason, it all makes sense to be speaking English to me. But then, like, if they're all Japanese, I was like, oh, they don't feel like Japanese people though. You know what I mean? And they might have different dialects, but like, if I was watching and like in hearing Japanese, I wouldn't be able to hear the different dialects for like different accents. You know what I mean? But in like in dubbed, I can hear like their different kind of like talking personalities. You know?
I get you. I get you.
I do like
Yeah.
if there's one thing that I want to like completely love on One Piece for, it's how well they make Luffy feel. Wait, I think I started touching on this earlier, but I never finished my thought. I love how much like they're not the good guys, like a majority of the time.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, it just feels good because they're like they're doing good things, but they also don't want the attention. They don't want to be heroes. They want to be like the stars of anything. They're like, hey, we're doing this because we want to do this. And most of the time they go like, we think it's the right thing, but like we also kind of just want food or gold or like to do something. They like
it's like they don't follow the world standard; they follow their own standard.
Yeah,
and that makes
exactly.
them an offshoot. That makes them different from what their world. It's like their world has a set of morals, and it's like following the rules of the Navy and the world government, and they have their own set of morals that they don't care if they break the other rules. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and like Luffy is not like there's a lot of protagonists that are unrealistically a good guy, like unrealistically like I need to do all of this to protect everybody or do all this stuff. And Luffy's like, sometimes he's like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm just doing what I want to do. And like,
he has his morals, and that's all that matters to him.
Yeah, and the most that you could say he always does is always protects his friends, which is like a great thing to have, a great characteristic to have.
It's realistic.
Yeah, yeah, and he's not like going out there trying to save the world or anything like that. And honestly, I think one of the biggest, another thing that I love about him, that's a big point that they drive home in the show, is that he doesn't want to be king of the pirates to be like to get all this recognition or to get all the. He just wants like the freedom that comes with it. Like once you're the king of the pirates, you have freedom to do whatever you want. And like
I remember that talk with one of the pirates from
yeah, it was
his
I think
crew.
Well, I think it was
What's
the
his name?
second
in command.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember his name.
The bubble place.
Yeah, it was something like Dragon or not
You
Dragon.
know,
Not Dragon is his name.
Dragon's his dad.
Yeah, yeah, but it was
For
something
being
like
a One
that.
Piece podcast, we need to get our facts straight on the characters. So we hit One Piece pretty hard. You want to talk about some current stuff? Do you think we talked enough about our?
Oh wait, we got to like 53 minutes actually. I feel like I zoned out.
Well,
like,
some of it'll be cut out stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about something. What did you just say? I zoned out when you said that. What did you just ask?
Just like we could talk about some more current stuff.
Oh, so
to stay on the trigger, on the pulse.
Have you been keeping up with Attack on Titan?
Yes.
Oh my god, bro. First of all,
I kind of wish we did this yesterday after we watched the new episode, so we could be more current.
Yeah.
But oh my god, the ending, just everything's coming together. All the stuff that has been happening is finally like all.
Yeah, I saw somebody. So like, I did kind of get that part a little spoiled for me. It was one of those things where it wasn't really spoiling, but it did kind of feel like, okay, that was a hint. Like, I kind of see where it's going. But a long time ago, somebody made this theory video on Attack on Titan. They were saying like, oh, this whole thing is about time travel or whatever, blah blah blah. And then like a person commented and was like, it was like this really in-depth theory. And then one of like the top comments was like, "You're so close. You're so close to getting it right." And I was like, damn, I didn't want to see that. Like I was enjoying it as a theory. I was enjoying it as a theory video. Like, oh, that's cool. That's dope. That's dope. And then like I see that and there's like, you're so close to being right to it. And I was like, well, now that I know it's kind of close to time travel. Or like now I know it's kind of like that similar thing. So, but dude, Aaron kind of a menace. Aaron kind of.
Do you agree? It's hard to. Some people are just like Aaron all the way. They can't.
No,
they're like, I've been through him. I can't say no to him. He's my god. The Jaegerists, people are like pro Jaeger, and I can't do it.
No. I definitely think he is a villain, but they've done such a good job at making him feel like the protagonist of the show, and you realize like
you want to continue to be on his side.
Yeah, but
that's what you've been trained to do.
It basically more or less feels like the origin story of an antagonist. Like imagine if the show started off with saying like, or if the show started right now when he's like about to invade, or right before he's about to invade, and it started off from the point of view of somebody being outside of the war, you know, somebody like back in like the mainland that's just like, holy shit, this guy's about to attack the entire world. What the fuck is this? And then they show you all of Attack on Titan, and it's like, hey, this is his background and why he's doing this and why he thinks it's the right thing. And you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. That gives him like a reasoning, but at the same time, you're like, that's still not a good thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it makes sense why he's doing it. But
too close to like current events. This is like, stressing me out. This is stressing me out, dude.
But I mean, I don't know.
It's like Attack on Titan is supposed to be escapism, and now it's looking a lot less like escapism and more like it's mirroring the real world.
Do you think Putin is keeping up with Attack on Titan?
God, it's
dude. He has like a full on like yeah, what is it
he's
called?
like
Like
taking notes. He's taking notes.
Yeah,
like,
he's the Jaegerist like
okay.
badge, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about." And he's like, "I stick with him." Oh my
Fuck,
god.
that's so fucked up.
Oh my god. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just he like I do think, you know, this whole show is kind of like showing why he would do it and like how it makes sense. But he is kind of like a villain. Like he kind of is, because you can say that there's no villains, there's no good guys, because everybody is doing shit that's like bad for the other person. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their reasons for doing what they're doing.
I mean, Armin and Mikasa are definitely good guys.
I mean,
that's all that's left.
Yeah, that's true.
And John, Connie's getting a little
selfish. Connie's getting a little
like,
fuck you, dude. That scene with like him on the horse with the kid, I was like, that's dark. That's fucking dark. He's like, thank you for helping.
It's like taking these characters to like their worst possible selves to see what happens. And like Connie compared to Eren, he's a cupcake walk, you know?
No, yeah, for sure. But yeah, like you could say there's no good guys or bad guys, but obviously like Eren's just taking it to another level where he's kind of trying to end the war, but he's doing it in his way. It's like the same thing. Well, I was going to say same thing as Naruto, but you don't understand what the ending of Naruto does. But
Eren has always gone to extremes to like finish shit, you know? That's part of his charm. That's like an antagonist, like, or that's like a protagonist, like I'm gonna go plus ultra to beat this guy, and it just so happens that Eren's plus ultra is war crimes.
Yeah, like I actually had this talk with one of my friends I won't name right now, but we were texting and he said, I said I don't like, this was like season 3, like before season 4 ever came out, or either that or right at the beginning of season 4.
And this guy had already read everything.
No, he hasn't. This is a different one that you're thinking of.
Different guy. Okay, it's not who I thought it was.
No. But he said,
you have other friends besides me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you have podcasts with them?
Yeah.
I can't believe this. We're already starting off. And you're cheating on me.
We were having this conversation, and I said I don't like Eren. I just don't like. He's not my favorite protagonist. Like I just don't. I wasn't too fond of him. I was never like cheering him on the whole time or whatever.
Right. I've never liked Eren.
Yeah.
As a protagonist.
But then my friend was like saying that he was like, yeah, I think he's very poorly written as a protagonist, and I was like, I wouldn't say that. I don't think he's poorly written. I think he's actually very well written, and that's kind of what gives him like the layers of like why he's doing stuff, and especially now you get to see like even more and more of what he was happening. But I think even before you found out about all of his like experiences and like how he's been controlling everything, you still kind of like, I don't know, if you go back and watch season 2, like, because I think this person's complaint was that he just kind of goes in and yells and like does everything recklessly. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense if you think about it in that sense. Like, oh, you're watching this episode, he runs in like recklessly and he kind of does his own thing. Then yeah, he kind of seems stupid. But if you go back to the first season with that whole like 2-3 episodes of the female Titan going after his teammates, and there was this whole thing where his teammates were like, we have each other's back, dude. Don't worry about it. We are a team. Let us handle this. You gotta trust your homies. And he's like, I do trust my homies. And then every one of them fucking died right in front of his face. And he was like, and fucking evil ass laugh. And then like he was like, I can't do that anymore. I can't say my homies like can watch over them. And it kind of taught him a lesson that it was like, I have to be the one that can protect all of my friends, and I have to make the hard decisions to do everything.
He's protecting his friends to the most extreme level.
Yeah, like
that's like his whole motivation.
Exactly.
He doesn't care about anybody out in the world. He only cares about this one area, so everybody else can just go fucking die.
Yeah,
that's been his plan since the end of season 3, right?
Exactly.
At the very end, he's like pointing like, oh, if we kill all of them.
The fucking was the Freddy,
and that was like the start of like seeing the true Eren like who he is now after
Yeah.
all of this trauma.
And did you see that edit when he like grabbed, or it doesn't even have to be an edit, but like you notice it now when he grabbed what's his name, Historia or whatever.
The Queen Historia.
Yeah, her hand.
Emir.
No, he grabbed somebody's hand, and you see his face like go cold, like his face like gets all dramatic in his eyes. It was like 3, I think. He grabs their hand and he freaks out. Maybe you haven't seen it. But you.
I mean, it had been a while.
That's when you realize that. When I say you haven't seen, I just mean like you haven't seen the edit. That's you. I think that's when he saw everything for the first time, and he like freaks out, and like that's when everybody.
Oh, he gets the future.
Yeah,
the future sight.
Because you see him. It's a very subtle scene, and they don't explain it, but now you know. Okay, so can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, because she has the royal blood.
Yeah.
I was certain that in doing so, I could make a difference.
Is Adult Swim? I didn't realize it was on Adult Swim.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not about to sacrifice.
I'm pretty sure there still is Tsunami. Pretty sure.
Maybe I don't know.
It's just part of Adult Swim.
I think it's like right here when he grabs a hand.
Oh. Oh, they
kind of explain all this stuff, but
so he sees all that. Well,
but he sees even more.
That's right where he's like, "Do it, bitch."
Yeah. He sees it like he sees even more than what we were shown. I'm pretty sure. Like he gets all of it.
Shown a little bit.
Look at that face.
Woof.
He's like,
woof. He's like, I know what I gotta do.
He's like, I'm about to kill everybody. Holy shit. But yeah, it's kind of wild. It's just like the all the like tiny stuff they put in, and that's leading up to him having to do everything. I will say I am happy that he's not actually betraying his friends. I mean, I never really believed it from the start that he was gonna kill his homies or whatever.
To him, he's doing everything for them.
Yeah.
But it's just
I mean,
a
they were
difference
just
of opinion.
Like,
all that death is just a difference of opinion.
Yeah. For a little bit, they were kind of like, oh my God, does he really not care about us anymore? And he's going to do that. And I was like, there's no way he doesn't care about you. Like,
now, who's the little fucker who's
Gabby?
In charge of the Jaegerists?
Oh, fucking, I hate him. Flock or something like that?
Oh my God. It's like we all thought Gabby was the worst. Flock is absolute dog shit. Absolutely like.
Yeah.
And that's the point. He'd be like one of those tiki torch motherfuckers who are just like white power. It's like just showing that kind of character, how like you can get completely
and like he's not even
through all this trauma, you can get absorbed into this idea that you're better than everybody, so you need to fucking take over it all,
And he's not even supposed to be. I don't know if I would say he's not supposed to be there, but he's like. He didn't earn his spot like all the other people that were kind of there. He kind of just like he just happened to be one of the soldiers that was going to kill himself to go against the Monkey Titan, and then he just didn't die, and then he's like, now I'm still in it. Now I'm with Eren the way.
That trauma is exactly why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
He even like mentioned it like. I forget what it was like in the last episode. He even like mentioned like. What happened 4 years ago. He's talking about how all of his friends were fucking pelted with rocks.
Which has to be a little bit terrifying. I do remember that scene where he got up and I was like, could you imagine that? Like you were like, I'm gonna fucking die, and you like fall over and you like kind of like pass out for a little bit, and you get up and you're like, I'm still alive? Shit. And then you see everybody dead around you, like literally in pieces. And he's like, fuck, dude. I did see an edit where like Levi almost get hit by the rock, and I was like, dude, that could have been it. That could have been like, because like at one point like the Beast Titan like throws a bunch of rocks, and I think like the title of the TikTok was like that one time they almost caught Levi lacking, and it's just like a zoom in thing where he's like standing there and he like looks back, and then you see the rock go like right past his face, like, and he's like, what the fuck? And then like you see all the rocks like hitting all the buildings and shit like that. I was like, that could have been the end of Levi.
Season 3 is my favorite hands fucking down, because
that
they're
is like
still
top tier. Yeah, because that was like the height of like the
it's like
action
the
and
start of like the intrigue of like what's really going on,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not into the like we're war criminals now,
No,
you
yeah, because
know?
it is kind of like a steady like incline to like the top of like the peak of the action, and now we're kind of getting at the point where they need to close off the show. You know what I mean? Like the episode
Yeah.
3 was like all this stuff and like whatever, like mystery and action and all this stuff, and now season 4 is kind of being like, okay, well, we have to explain it to you eventually, and we have to tell you what's going on and everything. But it is still wild to
Well,
me.
it's like season 3 was still in this one special area that they could focus on, and now season 4 is like opened to the whole world, and they have to explain all of that. And like that's interesting in its own way, but like the story of season 3 and like I'm pretty sure it was season 3 with like the one guy who is related to Mikasa and Levi.
Yeah, yeah.
That whole thing I really liked, where he had like a side contingency and they had to fight them in the
Yeah.
underground area. Like all of that was so cool to me, and it's like the start of like technological advances within.
That is crazy to think about, like where they started, and they were like, "Hey, we're just in this little town, and we're getting like bombarded by these giant monsters. We don't know what to do." And then it just turns out to be like this fucking war between these two different countries that they didn't even realize they were a part of. They were just getting tortured. Right. They were just getting like titans thrown on them, and he's like, "Here you go, get fucked, little losers." And they're like, "What's going on? We're just trapped in this circle." That's wild. Also, speaking of, I do want to touch on this, and this might be like the last topic before we end it, because we have been going for a bit. But Demon Slayer. So first of all, have you seen the movie?
You mean Kimetsu no Iba? That's
have
the point. Yes.
Have you seen the movie, the Mugen Train or whatever?
Mugen Train?
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know how you feel about the show, but you did watch the first season, right?
I think the animation is amazing.
Yes, I do think the animation is amazing. Are you a huge fan of the show?
Well, I mean, I read the book. I read the manga. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. It's a manga.
You're already canceled. I'm putting that in big screen. You're done for, dude.
So, like, obviously, I like it. I think the story was pretty great. I think what do I want to say about this? I think it's solid.
Sounds like
I understand why it got so popular. But it's just maybe when I see it animated it'll be better. It just didn't go in a direction I wanted it to.
So I talked to my friends about this, and they were like wildly on the opposite side, where they're so pumped about it. They loved every bit about it. I can't get into the show as much. I don't know what it is. I think it looks beautiful. Sure, it looks really cool. It looks dope. I'm not really intrigued with the world necessarily, because like I understand, like I think the coolest part for me was even like the fight. I mean, the fights were cool. Yeah, like you had those like 1-2 episodes that looked really dope. But other than that, like story wise, the coolest part to me was when they were trying to get his sister to bite the dude in the 12, like was it or whatever, like the council of the 12 demon slayers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get his sister to bite him, and that was the most intense part, where I was like, oh, this story is good now. Like I was intrigued by that, because she has to kind of prove herself to all that stuff. But other than that, I don't like. I know this might be a hot take, and people are like, "What? You think that way?" But it's true. I can't get into it. I don't know what it is. Like I think another reason why I feel this way is because I don't care too much about the protagonist. I don't know if that's a bad thing to say, but like,
is it because he's too much of a goody two shoes?
Maybe.
He's definitely to me like it's like he's just the generic hardworking, always do right character, and like having him in the spotlight is kind of boring. Like Inosuke, I think is a more interesting character. There are more interesting characters, and they get into their story more. But it's always focused on him and his like, I have to be the best. I have to do the best for my sister.
And I don't know. It just doesn't hit right with me. I'm not like intrigued. I watched through the movie I thought the movie was good. I liked the guy that's with him a lot. I won't say anything about the movie if you haven't seen it.
Like me personally, because I know what happens.
Oh, you do?
I read it, dude.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, you know who dies in it. I don't know. It just I watching through it. I watched through it. It was like on my second monitor. Wasn't really in like. I was honestly watching it because I wanted to be aware of what was happening. It felt like I was doing research so that if people brought it up around me and was like Demon Slayer, I'd be like, I watched it. I know what you're talking about.
You're just keeping current with the weebs.
Yes, exactly. But like, I was not interested. I was not like, I don't care. I don't know what it is. I think the demon world doesn't really intrigue me because it just kind of feels like another version to just get people to have powers, like another way to be like, hey, this person has powers and you have to defeat them.
It's just the power structure of this
and then
anime it's just not hitting right.
Yeah, and then like any of the dark parts where they're like, oh my god, I can't believe this demon did, like they have a lot of those moments where it's like, this place is fucked up because this demon did this and this demon like killed these people and blah blah blah, and I was like, Attack on Titan's doing it better for me. Like if I wanted that, Attack on Titan is like, for right now, Attack on Titan is getting me all the dark, gritty stuff that I want. That actually shocks me. Where it's like, whoa, that's happening right now.
The characters have more depth in Attack on Titan, I think, because they're allowed to have a more varied range of emotion. Because it's, I don't know, like Demon Slayer is straight shonen, like we're gonna work together to beat the bad guy, and then Attack on Titan, it's just a different genre, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I wanted the gritty part that show gives me, I go to Attack on Titan. If I wanted like the camaraderie with like the cool fights and everything, and like a protagonist who feels very similar, even though they have very different origin stories and whatever, but they feel like the both the studious good person that wants to be the best. That is Deku for me, my homie, Deku. That's just him. Like, not saying that the protagonists are very similar in general.
I'm gonna tell you something. Sure. I don't like Deku at all.
I know you do, or I didn't know that you do, but I know that a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people do not like Deku, which I get that. I understand.
And it's not like I'm not like a Deku hater. It's just I'm indifferent. Like he's there as he's more of a side character, to be honest, in some episodes, and that's where I like him.
Yeah,
like honestly, when they focus on other characters, I like that better.
Are you caught up with the anime?
They did. I don't remember the last thing they did, but they focused on the villains, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So you did see his like the new ability he got, right?
His Spider-Man.
I actually don't like that they gave him that. I don't like. I don't
really.
Okay. So
I think it's a cool development that he's gonna.
I think it's cool
get
that
more
he's
powers.
Getting. Okay, I guess.
But it's just the usual like protagonist is special and better than everybody else.
Yeah. I think that in that way, it is cool in general. But for that world, for the reason I like My Hero, I don't like that. Because the way that My Hero was very unique to a lot of stuff, and it turns out, because I started One Piece afterwards. One Piece is kind of the same way too, where you get one ability. And you have to fucking master it and put all your all into being the best that you can be. And like it was already kind of like Deku was given an ability, and now was enough.
He's just getting a free pass, because before it was like I have to find ways to use this power that ruins my body. I have to find ways to use it, and that was interesting. But now it's just like, oh, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, now he's just gonna get more and more powers and more powerful, and I'm like, okay,
which,
well, like
we don't know what's gonna happen.
That's true.
We could read the manga maybe, but it might get cool. I heard there's some cool stuff with Deku specifically. Like he has like a character turning point.
That'd be
which
cool.
might make me super into him. I don't know, but
which is the same thing.
As of right
the same
now,
thing we could say about Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer is only one season in. Well, now 2 seasons, but I haven't watched the second season.
Well, I mean, I know everything that happens, and
does it stay the same?
Cool stuff. Cool stuff happens, but what's his name? He pretty much stays the same.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't think about that, but I for some reason, I don't know why his character doesn't click with me. I think the animation is really sick. There was one take that I heard on TikTok once, and I thought that this is the exact opposite take that I have ever had. Somebody said Jujutsu Kaisen. This person, I think the funniest thing to me was that I think this person had some Demon Slayer on them somewhere. I don't know if it was like a hat, mask, or something. I don't know, but they were at a convention, and they're like, "What is your hot take?" And it said, "People only like Jujutsu Kaisen for the animation. The story's garbage. The protagonist is garbage. All this stuff is garbage." And I was like, "Fuck that!" And I was like, "I, if anything, I think the exact opposite. I think Jujutsu Kaisen may have good animation at certain points. The story is fucking great. The characters are fucking great. All the action's fucking great. I'm a fucking fanboy for Jujutsu Kaisen so far."
That's another one. Jujutsu Kaisen is another one where they have scenes where they're just being people interacting with each other, and it has nothing to do.
And it's great.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's
like that's
so
why
good.
I watched it. It's like at the after credits scene where they do something cute. I would honestly I'd skip the action to go to that.
And yeah, and then Demon Slayer, I think, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people don't agree with this, so whatever. It's my opinion. That's just how I feel. The animation is the thing that carries it the most for me. I think it looks cool. The action, the action scenes are dope because the animation's really good. But other than that, I'm not interested in the story as much right now. Like as of right now, from what I saw, I was like, okay, cool. It's just another protagonist that's just gonna go and fight some baddies.
I think you will enjoy the other characters more.
Hopefully.
I think they all do some cool stuff. Like they get into what everybody else does. It's not just the main characters. Like everybody gets the spotlight, and that was what kept me reading, was getting to see like all of the Hiroshima or whatever they're called. All of the pillars. They're pillars.
Gotcha.
All the pillars get their time.
Yeah, they're cool.
To do their thing.
They're dope. But anyway, I guess enough shitting on Demon Slayer, and we've been going for a bit now.
It's like we're like boomers. Like back in my day, anime had substance.
Well, that's
when
the thing,
really though. Like we are spoiled on good anime.
Yeah.
That we are so spoiled that if Demon Slayer came out back in the day, we would lose our fucking minds.
That's true.
But now we've got so much good stuff that it's just like mid,
bro, mid.
Like we're in the peak of an anime renaissance. I think.
Yeah.
Where it's becoming so ingrained, or maybe I'm just in a fucking bubble, where everything anime is like everybody thinks is fucking cool.
No, I think a lot of people are getting into it now. Like I think a lot more people are like accepting that it could just be a normal show and they can just watch it. Like I've seen so many people like react to Attack on Titan because a lot of people are telling them like, hey, I don't care if you don't watch anime, just watch it. And then there's series of people.
There was a guy on TikTok who was like, I fucking hate anime. Attack on Titan is my shit. And he has like multiple videos like going into like detail. It's so good.
Yeah,
about like what he likes.
I think people are accepting it now that it's like it can be normal shows and it's not just like random
big old boobies.
Yeah, and I will say the big three did a lot for anime, but it also did a lot for stereotypes. Where like that's probably where people think like the goofiness and the random stuff that comes out there that's like anime tropes.
You know,
they probably see that and they're like, that's all anime.
As a millennial, I can say this: it's our fault. It's our fault. We got pretty cringy, but we've grown up.
We've matured.
We've matured. It's not as bad as you think.
But yeah, I think but like we could say that we're like anime like boomers or whatever, but at the same time, Jujutsu Kaisen's coming out, Attack on Titan's coming out. I love both of their shows so much.
I don't have the like gatekeeping mentality. There's so many people who are like, oh, if you don't know how hard it was, like,
no, that's stupid.
Nah, dude,
that's stupid.
We should fucking celebrate that all of this shit is going on.
Dude, the fact that I have Black Clover to watch, I'm catching up on I guess One Piece, we could throw that out there. But the fact that I have Black Clover to watch, Attack on Titan to watch,
wait, hold on. You watch One Piece?
Stop. Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. The fact that I can watch I can have like 3 shows that I'm really enjoying right now and have one that I think is a little more on the mid side. That's great. Like I have options. I have so many options to be like, this is fucking fantastic. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. This one is a little I'll still watch it, but like the fact that I have all these options is like a great thing. Like I love how many things we are getting right now.
That's like you're mostly like a like action anime guy. Me, I have too many fucking options because I love it all.
That's
I'll
true.
watch any genre. So like I just watched Erased. I don't know if you've seen that
I
or
need
not.
to watch that.
It is so watch it. It's very good. It it's like it's more of a drama than anything,
Yeah.
but it gets supernatural. It gets slice of life. It hits a lot of high notes for me.
I've heard it's really good.
And if you don't know, don't look up anything about it. If you don't know the twist, you'll enjoy it. I went in and I was like, I recognized something and I was like, ah shit, I know what's gonna happen. But if you don't know anything, go and watch it.
Anyway,
God.
we've been going for a bit. I had fun.
We have. Listen, I have to go back to playing Elden Ring.
I have to go back and being a Degen and not talking to anybody.
Degen is like I'm a Degen 24/7. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I had fun though, and we should do this again. And
yeah, that was my goal. Is just to have fun talking about anime. That's what I want this whole thing to be.
And if
not having any pressure, just having a good time.
For sure, dude. And if anybody's like watching this and they want to like, I don't know, leave in the comments or something what you might want us to talk about or do, or
dude.
maybe even change differently so we can like improve. Let us know.
We talked about doing tier lists. We talked about doing like movie reviews and like live movie watchings, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I haven't seen a lot of like the very well known like what's that really famous animation studios or whatever, Studio Ghibli.
Ghibli.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those movies.
Don't you dare say Ghibli. Stop. Don't say Ghibli.
Is it Ghibli? Ghibli.
Yes.
Whatever.
I had a fight with somebody about this.
Sure. I haven't seen any of those movies. So
really, it's more like in the Japanese it's more like Ghibli. But Ghibli.
But yeah, so I haven't seen any of those movies, so that's definitely a thing that we could do in the future. And yeah, I'm down for any like ideas.
I've got probably a list the size of my fucking arm of movies that you could watch. Just not even Ghibli, just like peak anime.
Your Name is apparently a really good one too that I haven't seen. Have you seen?
There's so many good romance ones that have like interesting twists.
Which I'd be down because I like romantic comedy movies and movies that make me sad sometimes. So like I want to see more.
Right, it's a rom com. There's like top tier rom coms in anime that you don't even know about.
Anyway, yeah, let's throw this into here.
Anyway, turn this shit off so I can, really be myself.
Yeah. All right, peace out, I guess.
Bye.